I'm live on Instagram here. And then there should be an option to join.
Where is it? Oh, okay. Here we go. It just came up.
There we go. And then we're going to put our speakers on mute. Test this all out. Technology. Okay.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. All right, good. I can hear you too. Great. All right, so it looks like we're both on Facebook and Instagram. Are you hearing any feedback on your end, or you're good?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so hi, my name is Anuschka Alborzian. I'm an empowerment health coach and energy healer.
And I'm Samar Tehrani. I am a therapist. I think there's one mic still on.
I turned it off again. It decided to turn on its own. Not sure why.
And I'm Samar Tehrani, and I'm a therapist. I'm an addictionologist, and out of Virginia.
Awesome. Yes, I'm in San Diego, and right now you're also in Southern or Western time, right? You're still here with us in Southern California, and didn't get a chance to do this in person, but we definitely wanted to still continue doing our lives and how to stay positive. One of the things that we thought about talking to you all about is just providing 7 tips on how to stay positive daily.
So we've been on this journey for a period of time, and in support of our community, obviously, and even though some of our daily tips were focused on other topics, but the overall umbrella that we have been focusing on is how do we stay positive during this COVID time. And while it's still not over yet, and we recognize that it's not over yet, right? And we're not doing our daily tips, but we wanted to focus really on some tips of what are some things that we can do to stay still positive and support that positivity in order to move forward.
Absolutely, yes. And so some of the things that we've been taking on, and we have been for a long time, we found a great list, and we wanted to share that with you. And first and foremost, daily gratitude journal. That's been something that I know I've been taking on. I don't journal it as much. It's become second nature for me now, because I did journal. And it used to be tough for me to even think about 3 things I remember, whereas now it's constant. I'm constantly aware of what to be grateful for.
Well, so I mean, in all honesty, if we were to really focus on how do we, what are some of the ways that we can, it's not always through writing things down. It's writing it gives us the clear, conscious task, right? So if you are already in the habit, maybe you don't necessarily need to pen to paper write it down, right? For a while, I had gotten into this habit. I would send myself an email. And I would send myself an email on tasks I had to do or things that I wanted to make sure I didn't forget. And then I would also write something that I was very grateful for within that email to myself, right? And that's how I did it. So there are multiple ways that you can do this. But the point is to be conscious of being in the space of gratitude at least once a day, preferably in the morning, right? Right as you're starting your day, and then as you're ending your day.
And I was going to say at nighttime. Sometimes actually what I'll do if I can't fall asleep, in my head, I just start thinking of 10 things. I count down 10, what I'm grateful for. I never get down to 1. And it's because your body, mind, everything just goes into this calm state. And it actually allows people to sleep when you do that.
That's a great tip.
I've been taking that on for several months now. I mean, thankfully I don't have issues sleeping, but the times that I do, I definitely know that that's a huge thing. We're having issues on the Facebook side. I don't know what's going on. It's not saying the video has ended. So I don't know what happened.
All right, that's okay.
That's
all right. We're here.
Yes, we're on Instagram. So
on Instagram, and then we can also upload the video on Facebook later.
Yeah.
So tell us tip number 2.
Yeah. So the second one, it's, oh my gosh, music. I love music. And it's about listening to the music that gives you high vibes. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel excited, energized, makes you happy. Having that as a daily, something to do daily. And even if that means get up and dance to it, that is even a bonus right there. That's huge part for staying positive and raising your frequency.
I remember, Anuschka, when we were younger and we would go to like a party, and they would always say, get up and dance. And I remember being so self-conscious of that and just thinking, what a weird culture we have, right? And, obviously as I'm aging and I'm becoming more conscious and grateful for the culture that raised me, right? That Iranian culture that I was raised in. Now, through understanding and understanding the science behind it, I'm like, that was such great training, right? To get up and to dance and to really engage with music was great training for us, even though at the time I didn't really necessarily care for it. But I remember once you would get started, then it was fine. It was just kind of like getting started that was very difficult. So
although I never think I had difficulty getting started. I always loved dancing. I will say though, I was a tomboy when I was in elementary school. So there was a little bit of time where I had a little bit of that. And yeah, it's always been something within me that I'm like, music is just amazing. And then you see kids just start moving. They hear some rhythm and they start moving. So it is within us. It actually, it's the language of our soul.
It is the language of our soul. And what's really kind of funny is so my sister is huge into music. Her kids are huge into music. They write music, they sing a lot, and they have, their little microphone. And the past 2 weeks that I've been in Southern California staying with her family, I noticed that my mood is so much better because of that. Because, every day because on my own device, I don't turn to music as often, right? I listen. So me listening to music is mostly in the car, right? And I don't have that right now.
Right.
So me left to my own device, I don't always turn to music. But here, I have no choice. Like the microphone comes out and they're singing and dancing and performing. And even that, like being in the presence of that has helped me so much as far as my mood.
So. Oh yeah, I believe it. When we have music going on, sometimes a lot more times Ashkan starts playing music and I'm like, oh, thank goodness. And it literally, I feel the mood shift immediately.
Yeah, the energy, the vibe goes up.
Yeah, well, the music that I like. Sometimes he puts on heavy metal and I'm like, nope, stop.
Not that.
He likes it.
Not for me.
For me, yeah. No, it just no. Just me. It's all an opinion, right? So the third one is daily acts of kindness. That in itself, it not only when we do, because we're human beings, we're all connected, and when we do an act of kindness, not only impacts the person you're doing that for, but it also makes you feel good. It just does. It's natural. It's part of us. It's who we are. Yeah. And for me, I notice a huge difference. And when I do feel down, I actually will sometimes do that. We'll actually think of who is it that I can actually make a difference for, and I notice immediate shifts when I do take that on.
So that immediate act of kindness, remember that this can be something very small within your homes. Sometimes I think when we think about a concept like acts of kindness, we have a tendency to think big. So don't think big, think small. Think about, making a meal for your family members. Think about sharing whatever you baked with a neighbor. Think small, doable, and feasible to how we are living life right now.
And it could even be as small as being thankful for them and sharing that gratitude with them.
Yeah.
Thank you for XYZ. Thank you for whatever it is that has been done.
Yeah.
It could be that, even that is an act of kindness. So.
Yeah.
And then 4, which I love, and it can be challenging, but it's being conscious of our thoughts, especially when we notice that we may be having some negative thoughts. Being conscious of it, because it's always a choice when we have thoughts to choose differently. When we're not conscious of it, that's when the negative thoughts will take us down a rabbit hole and have a spiral.
Yep. And all of this is practice, so when we practice being kind, when we practice gratitude, when we practice breathing techniques, as you practice, it becomes easier and it becomes more a part of your life. So keep that in mind as well.
Yeah. It's like I always say, it's no different than going to the gym and building the physical muscle as it is building that emotional muscle. It takes practice, and it takes consistency. Yeah. The 5th one, smile. A smile goes a long way, and we all hear this. A smile a day, well, a smile for someone can make their day. And it actually impacts us as well when we smile.
Right. And right now, interestingly enough, because of masks and things like that, we have we don't see people's nose and their mouths as much, but when we smiling actually has, so other than the muscle structure that changes and sends messages to the brain of saying happiness when we smile, right? Our eyes change as well. So when you smile, right?
Yeah.
So even if you're thinking, well, why am I smiling? I'm wearing a mask. Remember, your eyes also smile with you.
Yep.
Right?
And
the whole body language changes when we smile.
Body language, which then translates to the energy we exude, which is what people will feel from us.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's like, even you notice a difference in people's tone when you're talking to someone on the phone, even when someone is smiling versus when they're not. It's a different tone of voice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the energy of it is another level. Yeah. And the next one, number 6, follow your passion. That, to me, that's everything. You wanna always know what your passion is. Some people actually have a tough time even figuring that out. It's like, well, you had some passion, of course we all did as a child, so maybe you need to go back and look, what was I passionate about as a kid, and taking that on regularly.
Absolutely. And again, this is, some of these things we have a tendency, we're human, we're busy, and we think, I don't have time to follow my passion. And I think it's so important to remember that we don't have to think on a major grand scale. We can think on, small scales. If you like to write poetry, just grab your phone and write, when it comes to you, write it. That's following your passion. If your passion is physical activity, just do something about it. That's following your passion. It does not have to be on a grand scale. It doesn't have to be on a grand scale.
Yeah.
Just identify what makes you passionate. What makes you passionate is what makes you excited. So if you can think, and because, a lot of people say, well, I don't have passions. No, you do. We all do. It's whatever that makes you feel excited when you think about it, and just start there.
Yeah, because one of the things that I'm really clear on is, I just started playing volleyball last weekend, just last week, so it's not even been a week yet. And I noticed how much of a difference it made for me, even throughout the whole weekend. And I played again yesterday. Today's Friday. Yeah, yesterday. And I'm like, wow. Now, because of the pandemic and everything, I hadn't been playing since March. And so of course, it's like a huge passion of mine. So what did I do in place of it? So it's always passion in place of it. And I took on biking, mountain biking and biking outdoors. And that in itself was a huge new passion that I didn't even realize that I had. Although I'm like, oh my God, I loved biking as a kid. You couldn't get me inside the house because I love biking so much. So it's always something new that you can take on as well. It doesn't have to be one thing or two things. There's always new passions that may come about.
Right.
And then lastly, number 7, meditate. Meditation is huge. Even if that means doing 5 minutes of breath work in the morning, sometimes that's all I do.
Yeah.
Now, ideally, 20 minutes is what they say. There's like science behind it. And that's it. The whole point is if you meditate every morning and you wake up in that way with meditation, silence, it makes such a huge difference throughout your day.
It does. It really does. And again, you know, don't get caught up in, oh, which style should I use? Oh, you know, if you
Doing
don't
it
know
right.
I'm sorry.
No, and like the whole, am I doing it right? Like the same thing, right? Like what style, am I doing it right? Is it the right way? Because
there is no right or wrong way. There is finding your way is what I am starting to learn, that you know, some people do open eye meditation, some people do closed eye, some people do complete silence, some people do guided meditation. And if you're not familiar with meditation, just, you know, YouTube different meditation, just YouTube meditation, and then follow, you know, without any set standards, just follow different styles and listen to different people and see what you like, and then follow that. Find your way. And I think meditation is the small gift that you can give yourself on a daily basis.
absolutely.
On a daily basis, that can be the gift that you give yourself. So that's, you know, that's the act of kindness starts with us first, right? If I'm not kind to myself, I can't be kind to others. So perhaps seeing this path of, so we just presented 7 tips, right? You don't have to do all 7 every day. And if you do 2 every day, that keeps your brain activity on a more positive, upbeat space, right? If you want to do all 7, that's great. You know, I'm not sure if I've ever been able to do all 7, you know, but the fact that, you know, I keep snacks in my car, and if I see somebody on the side of a street and hand it to them, that's my act of kindness for that day, perhaps, you know? So, so think about it on not only smaller scales, doable things, but keeping conscious to at least, you know, holding myself responsible to doing at least a few of these things every day to get into the habit.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And I'm seeing if there's anybody that has any other comments. And just so you know, if, you know, for those of you that want to take your health and well-being to the next level and really heal from that mind, body, spirit piece, that's what I do. And I provide free discovery sessions. So feel free to DM me so we can go through that. And I know, you know, you do quite a bit, although I think you're more Virginia focused, right? Yeah. But yeah, so we definitely would love to make a difference, even more so for you all. Yeah.
So last week when we got together, do you mind if we talk about the little energy work that we did?
Yes.
So I have my energy has been kind of off, and you know, I like doing energy work. I like I like being guided at times. So we went and walked on the beach, and after we had our live and had our delicious lunch, we went and walked on the beach. And the beach is such a healing place for me anyways. I mean, it is what it is. I love it. You know, the mountains are healing because I grew up in mountains, but I love the water. And so Anuschka did a little bit of guided energy work for me, with me. So that's for me to shed some energy. And then we also did, the questions. She asked me some questions. I have been wanting to search for answers to certain questions, and we did the body work, right? So do you want to talk about that? It's amazing. Now, I have done energy work, but I've never done energy work that way. Okay. So again, there are so many different ways to do. So, I've received Reiki energy work, which I love, right? But I'd never done this. And it was amazing. I remember driving back feeling so much lighter, because I think I had some clarity of, like a peace of mind clarity sort of a thing on some adventures that I'm trying to go on. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not as easy to talk about as it is to actually do it, the work. But really, our body is just very intelligent. We have that. We've talked about intuition before, and we have an inner guidance, and our body just knows. Our intuition knows when something is a yes for us and something is a no. What gets in the way is our mind and our thoughts, like that whole conscious thoughts, right? That's what gets in the way a lot of times, when we start analyzing it. We start looking at is this logical or is this not? Where in fact, intuition has zero logic. And so therefore, when you allow your body to just be, what I did was muscle testing, actually. So what we did is, first we clear the body. We do the oral cleansing, release the negative energies, balance the chakras. There's this whole routine, which actually I've been doing every Tuesday night with Jacob, for those that do watch and whatnot. And we do that every time before we meditate. And it's actually a really great routine to clear yourself twice a day, once in the morning, once in the night. Again, you want more information about that, you can definitely reach out to me. Yeah. Once we do that, it allows us to be in a very peaceful state. So how did you feel after doing that? I know we did it twice.
Very light and clear, yeah.
Wasn't it just like very light, right? Yeah, and then what we do in that moment is start asking specific questions, and that's the whole key, is the quality of the question. Because when you when you ask a question, well, should I do this? Should I eat this pizza? Well, I don't know. Should you? You're not going to die from it. But it's different than saying, will this pizza? Because you put your arm out, and then the other person will actually push it down and see the resistance of it. And when there's actual resistance, then that's your body saying yes. But when there's no resistance and it goes down, that's your body saying no. And so it's really cool. I love it because it takes away from my work, because your body's answering, your intuition's answering, and you can do that with so many different things.
Yeah, it's fun. If you're in this area, I highly suggest that you get together with Anuschka and do some energy work, if you're interested, or if you're curious. Curiosity is also a great way of getting into some healing work, because with curiosity, you're more open to it. And so it was wonderful.
Awesome.
I'm so appreciative of that. And it was short. It's not like it didn't take hours. It was, a few minutes.
But that's the beauty of the body's intelligence and inner wisdom. Whereas we sit here and think that, to plan something is going to take hours of time, and we go back and forth, and the pros and cons and blah, all of that is taken away when you just ask the quality questions and allow your body to provide the answer for you. Because then you know what's in your highest good.
Yeah. What is in my highest good, right? So I wanted to share that, because
and that makes me happy. That was my act of kindness, and I hear about it a week later, and it made a difference, and that's awesome.
It was wonderful. It was truly wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. Absolutely. I'm so happy.
So I don't know. Hi, bunch of people say hello. Salone says hello. Ida just joined. Hi, Ida. She's wonderful. She's a wonderful friend of mine. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if we have any questions, if we have any comments.
Or anybody that needs any support in any other way with everything.
Yeah, we're happy to answer any questions. Would love to read some comments. Let us know if you like these lives that we do.
Yes, definitely. And on Facebook, I'm seeing we have a couple people watching. Hi.
So are you getting any? Are you receiving anything?
No, I'm not seeing any questions of any kind. So yeah, we'll be back on next week. I don't know if the timing will be the same.
It'll be the same time.
Will it be the same? Okay. So yeah, same time next week. And again, if you are interested in taking your healing, health, well-being, all of that to the next level, and you're curious about some of this energy work, feel free to DM me. I even just recently had started working with someone in Canada. So for me, I am, as long as you speak English, well, Farsi too, but but if you speak English, then we can jump on a Zoom and we can get together through that. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, have a great rest of your day and weekend, everyone. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah. And until next week.
Wonderful weekend. Be safe.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.